A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. What profit would there be for one to gain the whole world and forfeit his life? Or what can one give in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man will come with his angels in his Father's glory, and then he will repay all according to his conduct." When Jesus talks about taking up our cross and following him, this is not just Jesus talking, but it's also Matthew's community speaking through Jesus. Not only are they talking about what being a follower of Jesus entails, but they are also telling you what Matthew's community is experiencing in the present day. The crosses that they are taking up involve suffering, persecution, and for some of them, even death. Of course, while most of those being persecuted were probably not martyred, they received harsh criticism from their Jewish counterparts who, by and large, were not accepting the claims that Jesus was the Messiah. In addition, the frustration that they experienced from many of their family and friends not accepting their claims was another cross that they carried. Specifically, the Pharisees were one of Matthew's greatest opponents. They were the ones who arguably had the greatest power and role following the temple's destruction in 70 AD. To them, the idea that Jesus was the Messiah was downright unreasonable. After all, Jesus was definitively not a warrior Messiah who would help overthrow the Roman Empire. They must have been very convincing because Matthew devotes a whole section to criticizing the Pharisees in hopes of discrediting them. My personal favorite is when Matthew's community speaks through Jesus by saying, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which appear beautiful on the outside, but inside are full of dead men's bones and every kind of filth." However, the phrase "woe to you" doesn't quite have the right emphasis, sting, and anger that they are feeling. Rather, a more apt translation would be, "Damn you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which appear beautiful on the outside, but inside are full of dead men's bones and every kind of filth." Now you might ask, how do we know that the Pharisees were Matthew's biggest opponents? Specifically, one reason is that the Pharisees didn't have anywhere close to the same influence and power during Jesus' lifetime. Rather, the Sadducees, the ones in charge of running the temple, were the ones who had the most power when Jesus began his ministry around the year 30 AD. The Pharisees, therefore, really didn't have enough power to ruffle any feathers like the Sadducees did, especially since they collaborated, much to the chagrin of many Jews, with the Roman Empire. Furthermore, unlike the Sadducees, the Pharisees were actually well liked in the first century, especially in the early first century. They were much more progressive and adapted to the times, especially with the increasing belief in heaven and the afterlife. The Sadducees, however, did not believe in heaven. When a person died, they went to Sheol, the underworld, which essentially was an eternal sleep. Everyone, good or bad, went there after they died. As a result, this made the Sadducees less appealing in favor of the Pharisees. Knowing the context of Jesus' life in the 30s in relationship to what Matthew's community was experiencing in the present day, i.e., persecution and resistance from the Pharisees, we can see how Matthew takes something Jesus said around the year 30 and brings it up to the year 85, give or take. I often refer to this as history remembered, meaning combining present-day events into the life of Jesus. As a result, when we see the Pharisees being harshly criticized, scholars can infer this to be what is happening to Matthew's community, because it contradicts what happened in Jesus' life, i.e., Matthew's dislike of the Pharisees versus the Pharisees being more liked in the context of Jesus' life. As a result, we can see what it meant to Matthew's community to take up their cross and following Jesus. And what were the crosses that Matthew's community carried, you might ask? Being a follower of Christ for Matthew meant being willing to sacrifice everything, even if it leads to their deaths. That is what Matthew's community is experiencing. For those experiencing this persecution, even with some family members dying because of it, they feel comfort when Jesus tells them, "Whoever loses one's life for my sake will find it." The Pharisees may have gained the whole world by having the power and prestige in this life, but they forfeited their lives because of it. In other words, Jesus says that they might experience suffering now, but will be rewarded in the kingdom of heaven. That message should speak to us in our daily lives. We will experience persecution for our beliefs. Some might even die because of it. But Jesus tells us that we will be rewarded in the kingdom of heaven. To those who are rewarded in this life through power and prestige, they do it at risk of forfeiting their lives and even losing their souls. Where will we put our allegiance then? Will we do it by humbling ourselves, by taking refuge in Jesus, or by taking refuge in the world?
Take up your cross, take up your cross, take up your cross and follow me. Take up your cross, take up your cross, take up your cross and follow me. Wishes to come after me must deny himself. Whoever wishes to come after me must take up his cross and follow me. Take up your cross, take up your cross, take up your cross and follow me. Take up your cross, take up your cross, take up your cross and follow me. Whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for my sake will cross.